Success has always come Brian Clough's way on this ground. Since leaving Middlesbrough for Sunderland in 1961, he's never been on the losing side here as a visiting player or manager. A freeman of Nottingham he may be, but this will always be home sweet home. Clough is without the leadership of Stuart Pearce tonight. He's still injured. Neil Webb, who headed an equaliser in the first game, takes over the captaincy. The shape of the team will depend on where Roy Keane plays. He was in attack with Nigel Clough on Saturday. Middlesbrough are without their two first-choice central defenders, Alan Kernigan and Derek White. They've had more injuries to cope with than most this season. The only change there is on the bench, where Bernie Slaven is back in the fold after a spell on the transfer list. These two teams have already conceded 90 goals between them this season. Never a dull moment so far. And for both, the FA Cup's almost light relief from the weekly worries that come with being in the bottom six. The winner will be only 3 games away from Wembley. Jamie Pollock for Middlesbrough. And Roy Keane has started the game in the Nottingham Forest midfield with Gary Bannister up front tonight. Brian Laws, the former Middlesbrough player, with the throw. This is Jimmy Phillips. Touched on by Falconer. First chance for Wright to stretch his legs. And an easy catch for Mark Crossley. Hendry. Dealt with by Tyler. This is Williams. Woe. Gemmell. Ball won well by Morris. This is Phillips. Well, to go a long way here, Jimmy Phillips. And not quite able to make the most of it. Crossley held on. But Jimmy Phillips, well, the wave just parted for him. The two dads. It's found its way through to Falconer, and to Wilkinson, and now to Fleming. Although I tell you that Curtis Fleming has never scored for Middlesbrough. I'll give you some insight into the finish, which was hurried, to say the least. The build-up was very considered. It's found a way through, but flag has already been waved and a whistle blown, and Middlesbrough have a free kick. Tommy Wright wondering why they weren't allowed an advantage. Paul Wilkinson's the man down. Paul Wilkinson hasn't missed a single game since signing for Middlesbrough. He's had a few stitches inserted in that time. He's in there with Falconer, who got to the ball and forced a save from Crossley. Willie Falconer, who's scored in both the Middlesbrough's FA Cup ties so far this season. And Pollock's free kick was hung up beautifully for him. Laws. Keane looking to make progress down the touchline, interrupted by Morris. Williams ran into a bit of a cul-de-sac there, Brett Williams. Not Forest way really to run with the ball. Kettle. Caught in 2 minds, but he got away with it. Strong enough to see off Hendry. Now Wone with Keane in space to his right. And Clough and Bannister in support. Wone joining them. This is Roy Keane. Fleming's clearance, might fall for Clough, might fall for Bannister, 1-0. Just walked it in. It's coming the 22nd minute. Nottingham Forest in front for the first time in the tie. And Gary Bannister, their leading scorer this season, and that's a surprise, knocks in number 9 of the season. They had a good break here. Roy Keane just couldn't quite make the progress that he intended. but the ball was deflected, I think, off Fleming and Keane and Falconer, and Clough nudged it on, and Bannister just out for an evening stroll with the ball at his feet. Wilkinson. On by Hendry. Wilkinson to right. Falconer's calling for it beyond the far post. Here he is! Good save by Crossley. He was moving across his goal at a fair rate of knots there, the Forest keeper. And he just managed to intercept. A dangerous effort from Willie Falconer. Good keeping. He's had his critics, but he's got his fans where it matters on the bench at Nottingham Forest. Phillips looking for Fleming and finding him. Falconer. That is by Bannister. Run back 5 minutes. Webb though. Clough. Keane. Only Wone ahead of him for the moment. Strong work by Jimmy Phillips. Captain's contribution. Here goes John Hendry. Can't afford to show him the inside. He'll have a go. This is the fellow who popped in a hat-trick in 15 minutes against Blackburn Rovers earlier in the season. And really it is a risk to invite him to shoot because he packs a real shot. And he was going away from Laws and he only ever had one thing on his mind. Well, that's a loose one from Chettle. Wilkinson, blocked by Tyler. Chris Morris holding off Nigel Clough unfairly. Ball just held up in the wind. Morris just held Clough up. Webb. Headed by Moen. Only for Clough. Ian Wone. A bit isolated on that left-hand side. Roy Keane though. Into Scott Gemmell. Pull back to Nigel Clough, brilliant save, but he won't keep out the second effort. Forest have scored twice inside of 10 minutes, and Middlesbrough have got an awful lot to do to stay in the cup. Nigel Clough's first goal since Christmas, scored at the second attempt, despite the excellence of Stephen Pears, the goalkeeper in front of him. It was hard on the goalkeeper, but it was a reward for Clough's persistence and for Nottingham Forest's passing ability. Lenny Lawrence down on the bench, never once successful as a manager against a Brian Clough team in 10 attempts. Nice stuff. We've got a late one there, Nigel Clough. Laws, Gemmell, it's gone away from Falconer, good advantage play. Bannister and Wone in support. Here's Gary Bannister. A bit more pace on it than Pears first thought, but it wasn't the finish that the move deserved. Here's Williams. Chettle. But Middlesbrough have an all-too-familiar story to tell against Nottingham Forest. They've had pressure and they've had possession and they've had 2 goals popped against them. First, a hint of fortune in the build-up, but beautifully finished by Gary Bannister, and the second knocked in by Nigel Clough. An archetypal Nottingham Forest goal, beautifully constructed. 2-0 at the break.